Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to the Alpha for Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. As today we continue our factory finding mission on Kiava Gamma. Last time around we tracked down a survivor or two, machine spirit or otherwise, and while we did get some very intriguing new information, it is a bit difficult to tell what they might have been trying to convey. So let us continue as we try to assemble the full story. Too much? Yeah, probably, but you knew what you signed up for. The screen of this cogitator shows a scrolling line of repeating technolingua. Staring at the obscure symbols gives you a headache. It's like math class all over again. Oh, that looks promising. Oh, and that must... Right, of course, it's a rotating platform. That's how we reach that door over there. We've also got another door here. But... Oh. Hi. Hi there. The massive Magos, clad in ritual garb, lets out a binary trill and turns to you. From beneath the deep hood of his mantle, two dimly lit eye implants gaze at you. You hear another binary tirade, this time clearly addressed at you. What seems to be the problem, my mechanical malcontent? Catastrophe got your tongue? Something wrong with your implants, perhaps? Did you forget how to speak to your betters? You dare address me in the vile tongue of savages? Me, steward of Kiava Gamma, lord of the machine world? Kneel, pathetic spawn, if you seek swift disposal. You propose that I kneel? Me, the rogue trader of the Von Valancius line. I'm giving you 5 minutes. No, not to beg forgiveness, but to speak your last words, and to give your final confession. You are one of the troglodytes who once had the gall to oppress my brothers and resist my will? A messenger from the barbarian who drank the sacred unguents bestowed upon her through others' toil? Very well then. Your appearance is the perfect opportunity to teach the likes of you a lesson. My name is Cubus Delphine. I once held the title of fabricator of the Kiava Gamma Manufactorum, but I rejected it, along with other fetters that hindered progress. Once my faith was flawed and led naive fools from the cult mechanicus into the darkness of ignorance. Now I am this world's master, and serve the true gods. You tread upon their territory, and you are not of the legion of their servants. Therefore, you must be subject to immediate disposal. As the senior functioning member of the Brotherhood of Mars, I, Magos Explorator Pascal Hanuman, declare this temple to the machine god compromised, and forthwith forbid all services within it. I dethrone the fabricator, the ignorant heretic who has betrayed the Omnissiah, and condemn as anathema any and all standard procedures implemented by him. Let the cycle of the blasphemous operations he has put in motion be broken. Tell him, Pascal. Pascal switches to binary speech, and you hear dissonance sprouting from the depths of the Forge Cathedral. Some of the giant mechanisms heed his order and go still, while others, obeying the fabricator's will, continue to work. Crashes, explosions, and the clanging of crumpling metal signify that some dissent among the machines has interrupted the manufactorum's production cycle. Hanuman. Liar, you are not him. Demence Hanuman obeys me. His mind is open to the voices of the void, and the scrap code he created protects my world. And you, rusted refuse from the misfit caste of explorators, won't dare to call me ignorant. This statement is false. Your regalia have been revoked. You have been deemed defective and will be eliminated.
Pascal turns to you and says dryly,
Initiating the search of Heretic. Designation, Demence Hanuman. I wish to execute the retribution procedure.
Request noted, and granted. We'll take care of it, Pascal, don't you worry. And as for you, you bloated blob of bionics, what have you done with this world's rightful administrator?
The removal of unserviceable artifacts was the first step towards retooling this world. Only my tech brethren heeded the call of truth, reaching out to their cogitators, which allowed them to pierce the veil of empty dogmas.
So what you're telling me is that you've freed yourself from my fetters, but in doing so, you've traded one master for another? I thought you Mechanicus types were supposed to be smart. The Fabricator's Vox lets out a piercing, barely audible sound that makes her inside shudder.
I will rip out your spinal column and braid it around my staff, uppity creature.
Oh, delightful. You know, I do generally prefer hashing things out with conversation instead of confrontation. Using words instead of weapons tends to make for better profit margins. But I'm afraid in your case, I may just have to make an exception.
You may be driven by your will to fight, but know this. Kiava Gamma has already been converted. Its lines have been restructured. Its servants have already tasted the fruits of progress. In the crucibles of this manufactorum, torrid liquid metals will be used to forge vessels for sacred spirits. The adepts are already tirelessly delving deeper into new mysteries that were once barred by false tenets. You, servants of fake gods, are too late. The entire might of this world will soon rise up against the anathema and his slaves.
Well, this has been quite the constructive conversation, but I'm afraid your time's up. I think you know what comes next.
Brothers, purge the manufactorum of any erratic irregularities. I must prepare for the culmination of our great work. Got the outsiders! Let their blood mix with oil! Truth, conceal the path from the impious!
And once again, into the fighting circuit we go. We've got heretics ahead of us. We can no longer reach the rotating platform. We have that door off to our left, but the enemies are right in front of us. Yeah, I'm not sure we could actually get up those stairs to the door without being spotted. So I feel like our best bet is to just take the first shot and then work things out from there. Oh, for goodness sake. Really? Fair enough, it is just an alpha. Though I do hear the beta announcement is supposed to be right around the corner. Which, I suppose, is all the more reason for us to wrap things up on Kiava Gamma. Let's do it to it! Nothing but cultists on the front lines. The actual heretics must be further back. We'll just start whittling. Actually, you know what? Let's go for an AoE. Can't get close enough for a grenade, but we can do this. Oh, and they're moving up quick. Loguson back. Returning the favor. And we're on. Let us splinter their front lines. Oh, okay. I mean, I was not expecting you to eat that entire burst, but good on you, I guess. There we go. See, that's slightly more what I was expecting. Ow. Oh, interesting. They're not moving to flank, they're circling back the other way. Though I imagine they would have reacted differently had we pushed up those stairs. Move up. Pick someone off.
I move swiftly to strike.
We've got a heretic on the platform to the left. Can we actually hit that guy? Nah. Odds aren't great.
This tedium is beneath me.
Oh. Nice. That knockback mechanic's really fun.
If it serves your cause.
Unpredictable, but fun.
I needed that.
Alright, Heinrichs. Let's get you some payback. Not great, but it's something. Let's have Adira lay down defenses. And too far for any special attacks. So, pick a shot. Nice. Foreboding. That'll help Rhett and Heinrichs get up close and personal. We've still got a fair few of these folks to churn through.
Me, if you insist, Lord Captain. If I may.
Oof. Yeah, that's not happening. Not yet.
High momentum.
Anu, man, oh man. I'm gonna need you to clear the stairway for me. Unless you can't actually see it. In which case, I guess we'll just have you do something else. kill zone plus pot shot. Fair enough. And that is also fair. All things in balance. Alright, let's clear the stairs.
Let's see how they respond to this.
Setting our sights on that hair attack, but one step at a time. Not quite far enough. Okay, let's set up down here instead. No LOS indicators. Clear for landing.
Opposing me was your biggest mistake.
Landing cleared.
I'll bring glory to my bloodline. Already done. Nowhere to hide. Not a problem for me. I'll pass.
All right, come on now.
Nothing I can't do.
There we go. Wow, and I guess that's it. Okay, we'll just pour the rest of our clip in this guy's general direction. Hope we get lucky.
All too easy. Nothing I can't do.
Good enough.
Suits my purposes.
One squad left, plus the 2 hair attacks. We pretty much won this thing. Oh, right. I guess we do still have that one straggler from the early squad, too. No big deal. Should be an easy target.
I am not your Xenos pet monkey.
Wow. Nearly hits it. 50% accuracy this fight. That is a rarity. Heinrich's moving up. He can teach you, but he'll have to charge. That's one.
Nothing stands against me.
That's two.
Holy terror, smite your enemies. Everyone, step aside.
And not as much overall damage as I hoped, but that should keep them distracted. Adira's too far back. We'll just have her reinforce defenses.
On it.
I mean, honestly, at this point, Heinrichs and Rhett probably have it.
Was that you? Or
Yurliet might pick off a stray, but it's the flankers who are going to do the real damage. Hey, not bad. Finally put one of those exploding containers to good use.
The Inquisition sends their regards.
Ow. And you're done, son.
Nothing I can't do. Nothing of value has been lost.
Any chance we might be able to tag that other guy while we're at it?
Suits my purpose.
And there we have it. Nicely done, Rhett. Oh, right, we still have that one guy behind the
Too easy.
power coil, I guess. Can't get line of sight. Oh, but Heinrichs is up next, so we're fine.
I need a foothold. I won't object to it.
Oh, for goodness sake, Heinrichs, buddy. I need you. Yes, there you go. Thank you. That's one thing I'd really like to see in this game, is a customizable hotbar like we've got in the Pathfinder games. But regardless, we are victorious. Plenty of decent sales fodder, but nothing unique. That seems about right. Nothing to be excited about at this stage in the game. Oh, hello there. And we can't go this way now, but let's check out that terminal. The broken panel of the cogitator is sparking. Its blind, dark screens showing nothing. Right, so we can't just jury-rig it. Let's see what this guy's got for us. This pile of human remains, carelessly tossed together, emits a suffocating stench. The torn, gutted bodies once belonged to tech priests, but you cannot spot even a glint of metal anywhere. All their implants are gone. Unexpectedly, it seems that one of the ravaged bodies is still moving weakly. The tortured man's lips move ever so slightly, his half-closed eyelids twitching. The man can barely breathe, with his respirator implant removed. It is a miracle he survived the horrific vivisection. But it takes you a single look at the gaping wound where the augment was ripped out to realize death is only a matter of time. As if having sensed your presence, the half-dead man looks at you and sharply inhales the hot air. "Machine spirit, deliver me." The binary requiem coming from Pascal's vox sounds solemn and grim. Upon hearing it, the man grimaces weakly, twisting his mutilated face into a semblance of a smile. "Who did this to you?" "My brothers." His voice is barely audible. It seems each word takes the man a great deal of effort. "Machine spirit, has the Omnissiah truly abandoned us? Kiava Gamma has fallen into the maw of the eternal enemy. The holy magi, they succumbed to heresy. The rest were stripped of their true flesh to feed the heresy. Preserve us, deliver me from sin. The sacrifice, the living blood from the vessels of the true flesh. While their heart is still beating. After that, oblivion." His eyes grow glassy. "I knew you would come. I've waited for so very long. Deliver me from my torment." Your Liatsalian, stern features are graced with something strikingly similar to grief and compassion. Such senseless savagery.
I attest that the 3 categorical requirements for assigning the status of Martyr of Faith are fulfilled. Opposing the enemy, preserving the adherents to the dogma, meeting a gruesome death. Requesting the right to extract the subject's organic matter for it to be used in the creation of an honorable servo skull.
The man, who is minutes from death, wheezes weakly. "It's an honor. I'm thankful for the right to serve." Sure, just one moment, Pascal. Oh, man. Not much point in prolonging his suffering, I suppose. "Steel thyself, my friend. Your words will help us save Kiava Gamma. By Grabthar's hammer, by the sons of Warvan, you will be avenged." Something flashes in the man's eyes, as if your words have allowed him to gather what remains of his strength. Gritting his teeth, he barely raises his head and fastens his mad gaze on you. "May the holy binary strengthen my will. May I renounce the dissonance of variation." "No, machine spirit, angel of the Deus Mechanicus, that I saw the fabricator himself, ripping the flesh out of our tech brethren, and chanting a litany over vessels of corruption. Sarcophagi forged from corrupted metal, unholy shells designed to house evil." He lets out a weak howl. "The fabricator doesn't serve the Omnissiah. He obeys a different power. The one whose herald came to Kiava Gamma at the onset of the insurgency, his mouth spewing lies and corruption. Fear him, for he is... The words escape the man's mouth along with his last breath. Having spent the last bit of strength on his confession, he goes limp in your arms. Forever, this time. Interesting. I imagine those things down on the conveyor belts there are what he's talking about. Only a matter of time before we face our first flood of Cyber zombies. The device, now evidently being used to chop bodies into pieces, was once an ordinary cooling fan.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Oh, you guys might want to move real quick. Sorry about that. Hey, look at that. It actually worked. Nice.
What is it, rogue trader? But of course, Lord Captain.
Melt to charge, we'll take that. Plus some miscellaneous cargo. Can we cross that railing running over the factory floor? No, doesn't seem like it. Really does look like you should be able to, though. But fine. Fair enough. That really just leaves the door up on the raised platform. So I guess we'll go check that out. I really should use more grenades.
Do you see that?
Ah, okay. So even if we had gone up here, we would have run into a trap.
Follow my lead.
And we have a second door. Interesting. I guess I just kind of glossed over that during the fight. One of which must have a way for us to reactivate the rotating platform. Oh yeah, this looks promising.
Something of interest. I rise to the occasion.
As you approach the cogitator, you notice a number of deep scratches left by huge claws on its metal surface. Despite the apparent damage, the machine seems to be in working condition. The log contains nothing of interest. The maintenance ritual schedule for the sacred machine that moves the bridge, an activation log, and a few notes of a religious nature entered by tech priests. You touch the levers and reels on the control panel and disturb the slumber of the spirits that reside within this cogitator. The machine lingers as if still sleepy, but nevertheless performs its assigned function. And there we go. The cogitator is silent, awaiting new commands. Which I guess means that other door must lead to some other optional encounter. Since obviously the intended path is to pursue the fabricator deeper into the factory. More headache-inducing technolingua. We're starting to see some repeating descriptive text. That's a bit unusual.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Destroyable wall. Which leads to the next chamber over. Interesting.
That was a problem for you.
Manual override for the door, I assume. Melta Ultima. Well, that sounds promising. Not for Red, of course, but that might be a good swap-in for Heinrich's combat shoddy. I believe both he and Abelard are proficient with Melta guns. This melt-a-weapon, created by Adeptus Mechanicus, has increased firepower and range. Solid damage, very high penetration. Miserable rate of fire and range, of course, but it is an AoE weapon. Pretty straightforward, yeah. Oh, wow. But Heinrich's shotgun actually kind of blows it out of the water. Slightly lower pen, but better in pretty much every other way. I guess we'll just toss it to Abelard.
It's about time.
Something is howling within the metal frame, as if the machine spirits of this cogitator are lamenting some irreparable loss. Your knowledge of machine spirits is sufficient to trick the system and subdue it to your will. A false query, a crafty manipulation of control, and you finally get what you want. You can gain access to the cogitator's systems. The device's machine spirit can do nothing to thwart you. Subdued by its defeat, it hides in the bowels of its lair. You touch the levers and the reels on the control panel and disturb the slumber of the spirits that reside within this cogitator. The machine lingers as if still sleepy, but nevertheless performs its assigned functions. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. So I guess it must have been possible to snake by the guys outside and get up those stairs without initiating combat. Because, yeah, this is a pretty obvious way to knock out like half of the enemies that were waiting for us. And then get a great flanking position on the rest of them. Because this would have put us right behind one of those entrenched Adeptus Mechanici. Or heretics, rather. Interesting. Yeah, it's really difficult to tell what the enemy's detection range is, so I just assumed that that was way too close to skate by the guys at that first barrier. But live and learn. I'll remember that for the full launch. Or the beta, if the beta has sufficient new material for us to get tucked into it. More on that later. That said, let's see what else we've got. The cogitator's panel has dozens of breakers, buttons, handles, switches, and other control mechanisms. You discover the local cyber crypt with data collected by either previous operators or the machine spirit itself. Using your access, you study the archives stored on this cogitator. Supply protocol. At first glance, the records look like a typical shipping report, but after further reading, it becomes apparent that the focus here is not ore or assembly parts, but augments extracted from living tech priests and spent mass, the flesh of the victims killed either during or for the sake of machine rituals. Right, that's what the repurposed cooling fan is for. Production protocol. The log looks damaged, the lines are uneven, and some of the values seem impossible. After a few minutes of studying the records, you feel your head begin to swim. The stored data can only be comprehended by a twisted mind, touched by chaos corruption. Fair enough. Ascension Protocol. This record looks like a sermon of some mad chaos worshipper. The log, clearly written from someone else's words, mentions the heart that exudes virtue and the cradle that rocks the child of truth. Oh, good. Well, that certainly straightens things up. Glad we got that out in the open. Moving on. Honestly, I was really expecting more bad guys. Yeah, see, all the cover, the traps, the twisting catwalks. This really feels like it should have been another fight area. Maybe if we had approached things differently when we first arrived. Possibly with that corrupt Magos at the entrance.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Looks like we've covered about half the factory floor now. And the rotating platform leads to 2 other areas. The platform across from us. And those doors we glimpsed earlier.
None shall stand in my
With
way.
the platform currently connecting to the doors. Though I'm not sure that's the way the fabricator went. I guess we didn't really see what direction he went in, did we? Oh, right. Okay, there's 2 bridges attached to it. So I guess the fabricator must have gone this way. He never swung the bridge back towards us. The system accepts the access codes. The clanging of moving bolts indicates that the door has been unlocked. Wonder if there was supposed to be some way we could reach it from up there. Oh, I see. Well, yes, this does look, noteworthy. Alright, folks, well, you know what? I feel like things are going to get messy once we actually move any further into this room. So, I'll tell you what, we'll hit the pause button for now. I will, do the usual off-screen bookkeeping, but we will pick up here shortly, sooner rather than later, since, as I implied earlier, I'm pretty sure the beta is right around the corner, so if that's the case, we really should wrap up our time with the alpha before it's literally too late. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Revenant, Alois, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, Theory V23, EgonAlter, Emile, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Rowan Church, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.